Hey guys, Sko here, and in this video we're going to be looking at the tank talents, the artifact weapon points, and also the stat priority for each of the tanks, guys. This video is going to be based on a raiding character, so there are obviously some choices that might differ between, for example, raiding and dungeon use. But like I said, guys, the focus here is raiding, so we're going to have that in mind when looking at the talents and artifact picks. So, without further ado, guys, let's move on to the first tank, which is the warrior. I should say, actually, that I will be posting the images of the talent trees and the artifact paths down below this video, guys, so that should obviously serve as a good reference point if you're interested. But yeah, let's get back into it. So we're going to start off with the warrior, guys. The first talent line here is very easy. Shockwave is the obvious choice. It's useful on quite a few bosses, even in the Emerald Nightmare. The second talent line is also extremely easy. Inspiring Presence is just so much stronger than the other two options here for raiding. You're going to get some big raid heals off of this. The third talent line is where the first kind of choices come into play, guys. For me, the standard pick is Ultimatum. And the main reason for this is because of how Ultimatum works with Vengeance. So Vengeance is going to be picked later on, guys. But basically, Ignore Pain reduces the rage cost of your next Focus Rage by 50%, and Focus Rage reduces the rage cost of your next Ignore Pain by 50%. So basically what happens when you have Ultimatum, you get free Focus Rage, you use that Focus Rage, and your Vengeance turns back to the 50% discount on Ignore Pain. So basically, Ultimatum is giving you increased uptime on Ignore Pain. It lets you spend more rage on Ignore Pain. So in terms of survivability, it's the very easy pick here. There is certain instances where, for example, Avatar will be used inside raids. I'm mainly thinking the first example that comes to mind is the Eye, where he's weakened for like 40 seconds. You need to pump out as much DPS as possible. On that encounter, for example, you would choose Avatar. But for the majority of bosses, guys, Ultimatum is going to be probably the standard pick for you. The fourth line, we have Bounding Stride by default. Crackling Thunder is more of a 5-man dungeon related kind of ability. Waller's Challenge, again, does have certain applications on certain bosses in Nightmare, so you may want to switch into that at certain points. The next line, we've got line number 5. You've got the options here between Never Surrender, Best Served Cold, and Indomitable. Best Served Cold is obviously by far the weakest choice here for raiding, and then it becomes down between these two. Indomitable is the best choice on this line, guys. It gives you a higher effective health pool, and that is without a doubt better than Never Surrender. It's worth noting, by the way, guys, that Never Surrender is actually only ignoring up to 75% more damage. This tooltip's actually bugged and out of date. Well, not bugged, it's out of date. They nerfed it a couple of patches ago. So you want to go Indomitable on this line. I think it's arguably always stronger than Never Surrender. I can't think of any boss encounter in Emerald Nightmare where it wouldn't be. I think there's been quite a lot of theory crafting done on this, so if you guys want more information on why Indomitable is stronger, you guys can check that out. But the basic explanation is that Indomitable gives you a higher effective health pool, which is always a great thing when tanking. So we come up to line number 6, and in this line we're going to go with Vengeance. I explained briefly why before, as when we picked Ultimatum. Basically, Vengeance is giving you more Ignore Pain, in short. So you could also say it's giving you more DPS as well because of the reduced cost of Rage or the Focus Rage. But the main reason for picking Vengeance here, guys, is more Ignore Pain, and it works extremely well with Ultimatum. The two pair very well together. There is, again, application for Booming Voice on maybe one fight I can think of in Emerald Nightmare at least, which again is the Eye. You combine that with Avatar and you're going to have quite nice burst damage. But I think that's pretty much the only time I'm thinking about using Booming Voice right now. We finally got on the last talent line, guys, we've got Heavy Repercussions. This is, again, I feel the very obvious choice on this last line for raiding. It's giving you more uptime on shield block. It's increasing the damage from your shield slam, which is your main damage dealing ability. So overall, it's a great pick. If you guys have any feedback, by the way, on these picks, then let me know in the video description below. I'm always interested to hear what you guys think. Go over to artifact points, artifact weapon, whatever it's called, man. But basically, we have the estimates right now, guys, are that you're going to have approximately, this is just the estimates that have been going around right now, is that you're going to have approximately 20 points to spend in your artifact before you get into the Emerald Nightmare, okay? So let's spend Let's start spending, okay? So we're going to go Shatter the Bones first. Basically, I should probably explain this, guys. What we're wanting to work towards first, out of the 3 golden traits, is Dragon Skills. Blocking an attack has a chance to increase the total damage ignored by your next Ignore Pain by 60%. This is the strongest of the 3 golden traits that you can work towards. So we're going to work towards that first. It also gives you some cool unlocks on the way. For example, increases the critical strike chance of your shield slam by 5% during shield block. This obviously works very well with the Repercussions talent, and it also works extremely well with the Ultimatum talent, which again will give you more uptime on Ignore Pain, guys. So we're going 3 points into that. Intolerance, this ability, to be honest, is not really that interesting, but you have to take it anyway to unlock, to get progress towards the gold trait. Here we're going for the Dragon Skin, increase the total damage ignored by Ignore Pain. Skipping out on Thunder Crash, this talent is very uninteresting for raiding. We get the Reflective Plating, great. Dragon Skills, great. Now the second line that we're going to go in is we're going to unlock Wall of Steel. When you target an ally with Intercept, it redirects 2 additional attacks, and the damage you take from those attacks is reduced by 10%. This is a great ability, actually. Wall of Steel is a strong talent, guys, because in general, when off-tanking, for example, you're going to be intervening a lot, or intercepting a lot, as it's called these days, because that's also giving you more rage generation while reducing the damage the off-tank is taking, so, or the main tank is taking, you could say. So the second golden trait that we're going to unlock, guys, is the Scales of Earth. Critical blocks have a chance to cause an eruption from skill of the Earth Warrior, increasing your armor by 30% and dealing physical damage to all enemies in front of you. So this is, yeah, another good talent to get, guys. The third path we're going to take is we're basically going to work towards the last golden trait. Increases your armor by 6%. And now you've got the choice between Will to Survive and Toughness. Will to Survive is in my opinion much stronger than Toughness. Basically, Last Stand by default increases your health by 30% if I'm not mistaken. This talent should increase it by 60%, which is a lot, which is a huge cooldown obviously when you use that. Much more worthwhile than a static 3% stamina increase in my opinion. So that's us actually spent 23 points, so we actually take these out, that's 20 points. So this is what your tree may look like. This is what your tree may look like at this point, guys. But obviously the next line we're going to go for is this. Boom. Might of the Vrykul, unlocked. Now how we want to spend the points is we're going to take the stamina. Well, basically what we've been left with is this, guys. We've got stamina. We've got increases damage dealt by revenge by 6%. And we've got Thunder Crash. Now, I mean, you can take what you want here, guys. For me, I would actually, now that I think about it, I was going to click on stamina, but now I'm thinking actually increase damage by revenge. I'm going to take that as priority. It's really up to you guys. Depends if you want more damage or if you want more stamina. I mean, honestly, either way though, the absolute last pick here is the Thunder Crash, and that completes your talent tree. Now, when it comes to stat priorities, guys, for the warrior, like most tanks, we have Haste to start with. So Haste is number 1. Why Haste, guys? Well, it reduces the cooldown on so many of your abilities, so basically more abilities. So for example, it means more shield slams, more revenge, which means more rage, which means more shield block, guys, obviously as well. More rage and more shield block obviously means more survivability. Yeah, more rage, more survivability. Great, guys, great. Second talent we want to go for is Mastery. Reason for this is because Ignore Pain is based on AP, attack power, which you increase with Mastery. Also, Scales of the Earth artifact ability, guys. You see this one here, Scales of the Earth. This is based on you getting a critical block, okay? So to obviously critical block, you need Mastery. So again, we've got stronger Ignore Pains, Scales of the Earth, artifact ability. You know what I mean, guys? Yeah, based on critical block. And of course, in general, Mastery is increasing your critical block. Mastery is the second pick for warriors on this point, guys. Now, this part here, I put crit as third personally. I mean, how much choice you have here, it's at this point with gear, it's debatable. But if we take crit as third, guys, reason why again, you get more Ultimatum procs if you have more crit, which means you have more free focus rage, which means you're spending more rage on your Ignore Pain through Vengeance. So crit works well with Ultimatum. It also increases parry chance for warriors. And then at number 4, guys, we're gonna put Versatility, okay? Versatility. So this is my opinion, is the stat priority for warriors right now. Again, let me know your thoughts down below in the comments if you disagree or if you agree. And yeah, guys,